8:14, state lawmakers are one step closer to a budget deal 2 weeks after the deadline passed.
A tentative $237 billion budget deal won't be voted on until later this week as lawmakers still hash out the final terms. Joining us this morning, State Senator John Liu, who represents the 16th District in Northeast Queens. So, Senator, good to see you this morning. Thanks for being here. So, just to be clear, let's talk about this, right? A preliminary agreement. So, what exactly does that mean? Can you give us some details on what exactly is in that deal?
Well, it's actually the parameters of a conceptual agreement is what the governor unilaterally announced yesterday. In the legislature, certainly in the state Senate where I serve, we're still hashing out many of the details of what she actually announced yesterday. And in many respects, the devil is in the details. But I think it's safe to say that it is going to be roughly $237 billion for the upcoming fiscal year. And I expect and I hope that we will pass and enact the budget this week.
All right, Senator Liu, something we always talk about, mayoral control of schools. Governor Hochul made some concessions on tenant protections in order to extend mayoral control by 2 years. So what's the likelihood that the short-term mayoral control will actually pass?
Well, we had originally tried to deal with the issue outside of the budget because it is such an important issue for New York City school kids, and wanted to really focus on the particulars of how best to run New York City public schools. The governor was very insistent that this be added to the large budget package that encompasses so many different issues. So right now we're just trying to figure out what we can do by way of a short-term extension of mayoral control with safeguards that the mayor is going to be accountable for a number of issues, perhaps the most prominent of which is the requirement to reduce class sizes in New York City. New York City classrooms have long been too overcrowded. It's a disservice to the students. It's a disservice to the teachers. And so I hope that we can hash out an agreement that actually instills accountability on the part of the mayor.
Yeah. This sort of feels like deja vu, Senator Liu. We've talked about this so many times, and the mayor has been given so many chances to decrease class sizes. So why even pass the short-term deal? Why do we keep doing the same thing over and over again?
It's actually not the same thing. There have been a number of extensions over the past couple of decades. And so the state education department underwent a very rigorous study about this particular issue. We just received the report last week, and it's going to inform many things going forward. But as I said before, the governor is very insistent on including this. So if she wants to include this, we also want to make sure that the mayor is going to be truly accountable. He has control. But the problem is many parents, teachers, and other stakeholders feel that it's all about control and not really about accountability. The mayor says he wants to be accountable, so we're going to hold him to that.
Yeah, I mean, I just spoke to you a couple of days ago. You had been very adamant that this was not going to be in the deal. Here we are 3 days after you and I spoke last time, and it's in the deal. When you say short term, are we talking 2 years? What are we talking about?
People have talked about 1 year, maybe 2 years. I think 1 year gets us into the middle of a mayoral election or possible re-election, and so that may not be fair to the mayor or to the people of New York City. So two years is probably something that makes sense. And again, it's about making sure that the city
and then revisit it when, right? So 2 years, and then revisit it after the budget gets passed, go back to your initial drawing board of what are we going to do after those 2 years, or wait 2 years?
I wouldn't say it's the original drawing board. I think that we're going to have some very strong measures of accountability as part of the details, which is, we're still working that out. That's probably one of the reasons why Governor Hochul, she mentioned so many different issues yesterday, but she actually did not mention the issue of mayoral control because it's still up in the air. I think probably something will be done, but we want to make sure, again, that the accountability is going to be there.
The other issue, New Yorkers concerned about money for the migrant crisis. We keep talking about getting this money from the feds, but that's not happening. So what is New York State doing?
Well, the federal government really should have stepped up, but they clearly to Albany during the budget hearings that because we can't count on the federal government, the city of New York needs help from Albany, and that's exactly what we're doing. There's actually been a pretty strong consensus on the part of both houses of the legislature, as well as the governor, to provide New York City the assistance that it needs to deal with a crisis that was not of its own making.
All right, we're out of time here, but Senator Liu, appreciate you making the time. Great shot this morning with the Capitol behind you, by the way. Thanks for setting that up. Good to see you.
Yeah, it's a beautiful day in Albany, and let's hope it stays that way.
Yeah, all right. Hopefully you get the budget deal passed by Thursday. Keep us posted if anything changes, okay?
All we want to do,
all right,
whenever possible.
All right, thank you, sir.